Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of The Hard Truth. Thank you so much for watching. I want to give a shout out to the collective, to everyone out there standing on business. Shout out to the international community. Here's a cup of love and well wishes to you and your families. Today, I want to give my narrative in full with my predictions of what happened and why in the Idaho 4 case. This is based on numerology and intuition, and as you know, all of my numerology is based on the Hebrew concordance. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, grab that coffee or a nice cup of tea as we begin our story. The motive for the Idaho 4 crimes, where Maddie, Kaylee, Ethan, and Xana lost their lives, was a cultish ritual by some, it doesn't necessarily have to be the Satanic Temple. It could be the Masons, Illuminati. There are a lot of different um, places that have rituals for power, you know, life instead of death, whatever. Whatever reasons they want to do it, abortion, whatever. So when I say that it was a ritual, I'm not saying which specific organization is behind it. I am saying that it was a ritual, and I am saying that organ removal occurred for organ trafficking. That probably was just a part of it, but the purpose of it was for power, and sometimes it's to atone for something else that took place. Okay, now who was involved? A local church was involved, and it may be Washington or Moscow, one or the other, but a local church was involved, and so was DM. How she was involved, I'm not saying specifically, but this is a part of my narrative. BK also played a role in these crimes. He was involved in crime back in Pennsylvania that he got away with. That's why he doesn't have a criminal record. And the reason he probably got away with it is because of the same type of rituals. Okay. And so I'm going to come back to that. It's a very important point. But for now, I want to say here, he was posting his alibi here back then. He's telling the public, I can't remember anything. I used to be able to remember just some crap, basically. But really, he's posting his alibi just in case he was brought up for some type of charges back then. I mean, men don't usually talk about their emotions freely, and they definitely don't get online and post, this many words unless there's some reason, something that they need to get their point of view out there, maybe to negate another point of view that's pointing to some type of guilt. So I feel like here he is telling us, "Oh, I have visual snow. I can't remember anything." The cover for what he's done in Pennsylvania, and so I think when he came to Washington, 1122 King Road was already set up. I'm not 100% sure about that, but if I had to bet on it, I would. I believe coming to Washington, he owed for getting out of stuff in Pennsylvania. So, once you start, making these contracts, you have to keep making them. So when he came to Washington, he already had a debt to pay. And so when these crimes occurred, he played his role, and he never expected that he would be arrested. He really didn't realize that he's the sacrifice for the crimes. I think that's just not dawning on him. But let me show you something else. Brian Kohberger was shocked when he was arrested because he thought he was protected by his affiliation. As a matter of fact, the purpose for the affiliation was for protection, right? And so he didn't expect to be arrested. And then he was very calm, even though he was there, because he figured that rituals were going to get him out of this. Okay, the rituals would finesse the public and have them thinking, oh my God, he's a victim. Oh my God, he didn't do anything. There's people right now that'll cut you if you say Brian Kohberger did anything. That's part of a ritual. The problem is it's not, it's wearing off. And he realizes that he's been in there a little too long. He's he can't even get a bond. Okay, so I mean that's not somebody walking in power, whether it's light or dark. And so it starts dawning on him that maybe he's not going to be released on ritual, and so he increased his exposure to the public by releasing the documents. All right, so it's going to come down to whether his affiliates are actually working rituals for him that can get him a not guilty, or whether he's chanting in his own cell, depending on his own relationship with the underworld. Who knows? But either way, it's not working. Usually, when a person who has established themselves in a community, in a professional manner, for them to be willing to partake in anything close to something like this, it's because they either owe a debt, a contract, or they're looking for more power. Okay, one or the other. Either way, this is not working out for him. All right. He's stuck in jail. His lawyers are doing the minimum. They've torn down the house. It seems like they're pretty much wrapping it up. And his parents had the good sense not to mortgage their home and get him an attorney. I mean, for what? Listen, dealing with people like this always costs everybody money because uh, they're always overindulging, being greedy. And so this is why he's being sacrificed. The people that he's waiting on to you know, do enough rituals to get him a not guilty plea. It might be a few people doing it, but overall, he's the sacrifice. And I'm going to tell you why. Before he came to Washington, the Lord always gives a warning. I'm sure he warned him not to do it. To just stop right here. He didn't listen. Okay, I'm going to Washington. I'm going to be the PhD student and the TA. I'm going to be the man. And after that, I'm going into some powerful position. Power, power, power. And so he didn't listen. All right. When people get away with stuff, usually this is how I know he's been involved with murder before. Usually God is grateful. Usually when a person karma comes like this, they've been doing this, and they've been getting away with it and getting away with it. So they feel invincible. I can do all I want. Nothing happened the last time. Nothing happened the time before, I fooled everybody. And so they just keep doing it. I'm sure the Lord warned him. And so as soon as he packed his bags to come to Washington, already committed to doing this stuff, karma was already there waiting for him. All right. And so all of you who think this is lunacy, conspiracy theory, or whatever, put your money up.